This is my first YouTube stream in a very, very long time. Alright, the first thing to do is block out my eyebrows. I'm gonna do that with Elmer's school glue. This is just like a little purple glue stick. I've actually got two here. One's older than the other. I'm gonna probably use the newer one. I'm not an expert at blocking out brows, but it looks good for cel shading makeup. So I'm gonna basically just smear all the glue into my eyebrows. This will wash out very easily. I'm also pretty lucky. I have really light, thin eyebrows, so I can usually just get away with like 1 or 2 layers of glue, and then we're all gravy. So I put it in like kind of backwards against the grain of the hair, and now I'm gonna go through and make sure I don't get my actual hair in there. Smooth it all down. Now we have to wait for the glue to dry before we do another layer. So, cel shading makeup, you don't need to block out your eyebrows, but what I've found for me personally is it looks a lot more cartoony, a lot more cel shady if I block out my brows. I have pretty hooded eyes, so if I give myself a little bit more eyelid real estate, it just looks better overall. Now it's time for second layer of glue. The first layer has dried, and this is just kind of like the safety layer. Like I said earlier, I'm not the best at blocking out brows. It's definitely a practiced skill, and I don't practice it all that often. But this is the first step for today. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. Now we gotta wait for this glue to dry again. Alright, so once I block out the brows and get them all set, I'm gonna do my brows, I'm gonna do my eyes, and then I'm gonna do the rest of the face, and then the cel shading. So it's kind of definitely a multi-step process. I'm gonna be impatient and start powdering them. Basically what this does is this is gonna fill in any like hair gaps, like if there were like hairs that didn't lay down flat from the glue. Alright, cool. They're powdered to high heaven. And then it is time to take some concealer. This is... So, anyway, products that I've been using. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. This is the powder that I'm using. This is Tarte Shape Tape. I am really pale. Can you focus? This is the shade Porcelain. And then I'm going to kersmack my brows. All the concealer. And then we're gonna blend that out. Blocking your brows always looks like a crazy time until the makeup is finished and done. I look silly. Okay, so next step, I've blocked out my brows. I'm gonna draw on new ones so I don't look like such a crazy person. This is a Sephora Pro Angled Liner eye brush. And what I'm gonna do first is kind of take some eyeshadow. I'm using the color Goat. And I'm gonna start outlining the eyeball brow thing. So I'm just putting the brow right on top, of where my natural brows are. And this is just kind of gonna give me an idea of where the brow is gonna go. Also, Maya has really thin, really just like straight up like arched brows, and they actually kind of like flare up at the interior corner. So it's like it's very cartoony. Make my brow shape closer to Maya's actual brow shape. Now we gonna need eyeliner. This is the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner in Intense Black. I have two different eyeliners I'm going to be switching between. I also have the Benefit Roller Liner. I don't know what the color on this is. It's black. They're both black. I have two black eyeliners. This is the hard part. The brows are definitely the hardest part of this whole thing. We have an eyebrow! Okay. This is not a done brow, but I'm going to start on the other side. Remember, brows are sisters, not twins. It's okay if they are a little not matchy. What I'm going to do is, instead of eyeshadow, I'm going to take some brow pomade. This is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Soft Brown. This is what I usually actually use for my normal brows. Take some of that on the same brush. And she's got pretty like dark brows, so making them a little bit darker brown. So I used shadow to kind of like mark out the shape. There's a fly that just flew into my face. Then a liner. Then dip brow. And now is the time to really kind of like make these look like better. She has like little hash marks at the front of her brows. Them's some brows. I'm gonna use a flat concealer brush and some concealer and conceal around the top edge of the brow. Alright, we're still gonna look crazy for a while. We're gonna just go prime with concealer then. Get a little shape tape up in there. So Maya has kind of a very, very smoky eye, but it's also like kind of like a taupe red, like a very red brown smoky eye. So we're gonna do some of that. I'm gonna take a fluffy brush. A lot of my brushes are really old and I don't know what they are anymore, but this is a fluffy brush. I'm gonna take some sand, color sand, this one, as a kind of a transition shade up on the brow area. If you see my cat, he is under my desk. He might make an appearance on my desk, but he just popped out. Hi. Come on. I got some makeups to do. I'm also gonna use Instinct from the same palette. I'm bad at camera angles. This one, darker one. Ooh. Pat some more color kind of up towards the brow. Okay, and now I need a more red toned shadow. I'm gonna use the Festival palette by Juvia's Place, and I'm probably gonna take some of the orange, the Ophala, and some of the red, the Zifa, on the same fluffy brush because I am trash like that. Just a little bit of the orange and a little bit of the red. These are really highly pigmented shadows on the Juvia's Place palette. So I'm just gonna place them kind of above my natural crease. The bridge of the nose a little bit. Take it into the corner. Makeup looks crazy until it's done, I swear. Now, she has a very smoky eye, which means I'm going to take some pencil. This is a Rimmel London just black pencil. Smudge pencil. And let's cover my lid in that. Her eye shape is very different than mine, so I'm gonna try to mimic her eye shape as best I can with my face shape and eye shape. Alright, I'm gonna take a flatter like brush for like packing on color, and I'm gonna use the Onyx Black from the Tarte palette. It's black because it's in my hand. Pack that on the lid. There's a reason I haven't done the rest of my face yet. Because when you're doing a black smoky eye and you get fallout, you're gonna get fallout. Alright, we're getting somewhere. So her eye shape is very, or like the shadow is very cat eye like. This is also part of the reason I blocked out my brows, is I wouldn't be able to get the eyeshadow up as high as I can with my brows blocked out, and more closely mimic her eye shape. Bring this up just a tad higher. Kind of getting somewhere. Alright. This is a dual-sided brush. HD, Urban Decay Full Spectrum, whatever. I'm gonna take some of the red and orange and go back in and diffuse the edges of the black. Get a small detailed brush. Luxie 245 small shader. I'm going to take some of Manwoo from the Juvia's Place palette and Cat High. It's like a peachy shade. Hey, bud. You want to hang out? I'm going to take that peachy shade and just bring it up a little bit higher. Also gonna kind of take that in. Alright. Same brush. The Juvia's Place palette has a really cool white, shimmery white. I'm gonna take that on the same brush because I am trash. And I'm just gonna place that right underneath the brow as like a brow highlight. And that's the top of the eyes done. It's not... Alright, now I'm going to do the rest of my face. I'm going to use some Smashbox Radiance Primer, because I have not primed my face yet. Okay. I'm going to be using Juvia's Place Focus? Anyway, Juvia's Place I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. I am the shade Marisol 740. I'm gonna put that on a little bit of Beauty Blender. This is really high coverage foundation. And I am, like I said, a heathen and lazy, and this is a dry blender sponge because I was too lazy to get up and go wet it. Okay, Concealer Town. Same shape tape, just highlighting the high points of my face and under my eyeballs. And we're gonna powder, set the concealer with the same powder that we set the brows with. Alright, still got some powder action from earlier. Okay, lower eyelids. Lower lash line. Tight line. Just get all the black all up in there. Hooray. I'm gonna take a, let's see, this is a small flat brush. I don't even know what this is anymore. Its name is rubbed off. And I'm going to take a little bit of the red and the peachy color. And I'm going to smoke that underneath the black eyeliner. I'm also going to take some black shadow and smoke that out as well. But I'm putting the color on first. This is just how I roll. I'm gonna take that same brush and go into the black. Black eyeshadow all up under there. Alright, cool. Now it is time to add liner. I'm just gonna do a winged liner. I don't have to be super careful or precise because the eye is so super smoky. Okay, now she has some like line little details, and she has like a little blue dots. This is shiny chunky eyeshadow eye pencil. It's blue eye pencil. I'm probably going to go back over this with shadow too. I'm doing the color first and then lining it. Dots. And there's also these little, like, lines under her eyes. Alright, I'm going to do some contouring and blush before to go much further. I'm using the same Tarte palette. I'm using Desert to do with a little bit of contour. Borderlands characters aren't like particularly like contoured, but she does have some blush. Also, I'm really pale, and this is hopefully going to bring a little bit of contrast and color back to the camera, so I'm not just washed out completely. Use a little Luxie 239 Precision shader. Take some of that and contour my nose. She has a very different nose shape than I do. So we're going to do some of that with contour. And some of that with cell shading. Just taking my beauty blender and blending that out. I'm just gonna do some mascara. Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. So Maya doesn't actually have all that much in the way of like cell shading when it comes to like cell shading on the face. It's really only a couple of lines. Let me get some blush. It's a Crown something brush. Tarte Quirky blush. It's a very peachy blush. It's on the apple. Oh, the cheek. Right under those little dotty dots that I already did. Might as well go ahead and highlight her now too. Ooh. Use the Huda Beauty 3D highlighter palette. This palette is heckin' used. I've used it a lot. Big fluffy highlighter brush. This is a tapered blending brush, but whatever. Use some of the Azores and some of the Santorini in that palette. It's like a gold and a white. I'm just mixing them together. I take my finger in the white and go boink the tip of my nose and on top of my chin. Okay, now comes kind of the like transformation magic with the eyeliner. You can also use black Mayron or face paint or eyeliner. We're gonna get around the nose. This is gonna be weird. Under the nose. Hi, bud. Hi. She has a little line coming down here. And then the side of the nose. Alright. Got some lineage. And then she has some hash marks over here. Cupid's bow. Has chin line. And then lips. So I'm going to use some Ofra eyeliner in turquoise to line my lips. Yeah, I know I'm using eye products. It works. I'm going to fill in with the pencil. I got lucky with this eye pencil. It's that like kind of baby blue that her stuff is. Her tattoos. I'm not doing the tattoos. Alright, that looks weird. But we gonna do the liner. So we're gonna line the lips with liner. Okay, what I'm gonna do is use... The lips are definitely like a darker blue. So I'm gonna use some eyeshadow. What brush was I using with that before? This guy. Darken down the lips. That's more of the ABBA from the Juvia's Place Warrior palette. Okay, so there's a little weird trick you can do with the mouth. I'm going to take some timber on a little angle brush and at the corner of my mouth, just like extend the corner with the shadow. Are you making noise? Yeah, he is. And it just like makes it look a little bit more cartoony, and then go over that with a black liner. Alright. It looks... Yeah, there we go. Alright, and now I'm gonna draw... What I'm actually gonna do also is get a little bit of Mayron white face paint. It's Paradise palette. I've had it forever. It's kind of gross. But I'm gonna take actual paintbrush, get a little bit of water in there, and just highlight. And the same thing up here. And highlight. This is just like the extra little touch that kind of really makes the makeup like that much more pop that much more. You don't need to do this, but it really definitely helps. Just adding little tiny bits of highlight in certain areas. And that's pretty much it, aside from lashes, which I am going to put on. Just popping some lashes on. So I didn't actually need like much in the way of actual face paint. Most of this is like eye product. Or it is eyeliner. So you don't need face paint necessarily. That is it. That is the finished makeup. I hope this will eventually be helpful, or is helpful now, or I made a mess on my desk. This does take quite a bit of time just because of the brows, because I blocked out my brows and I redrew them on. So that is probably the most time consuming part. About doing the eyebrows and the eyes probably took me about 45 minutes to get the brows done and the eyeshadow done, and then about a half an hour for the rest of the face. And like, there isn't that much cell shading that she has, but it's enough. There are more characters with more serious cell shading, but the basics are the same, like a little bit of brown shadow or brown like low lining, the line, the demarcation line, the cartoon line, and then a little bit of white highlighting. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and this is my first YouTube live stream in a long time. I'm probably going to be doing some sort of live stream like once a month, maybe makeup, maybe some Q&A. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out, and I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you later. Bye.